Hello everyone, warm welcome. My name is Madhav Arora. I welcome you all in your next finance current affairs session. So before we start the discussion, may I have a reply in the comment section that I'm audible, visible, everything is fine, we are good to go so that we can begin the discussion. And as always, today also we are going to discuss many important news related to your finance segment which are important for your upcoming examination, which will help you not only in phase 1 but also in phase 2 as well as an interview. So today I have almost 5 news, out of which 2 are from RBI notifications and rest 3 are the latest updates related to the financial world which we will be discussing. So let's get started, guys. Before I start, just let me know in the comment section that if everything is fine, we are good to go so that we can begin. And today, the most important news which we are going to discuss is the announcement done by RBI with respect to the government securities as well as with respect to the latest initiatives which have been taken for updating the security norms or in order to fighting against the cyber fraud which is prevailing in the economy. Done, guys. So what I'm doing is I'm just quickly sharing the link of this session with your friends so that more and more students they can join us live, because I was late as always in preparing the PDF and I was not able to share the link. So let's together copy the link and share it with our friends so that more and more students they can join us live. And once you have shared the link, give me a yes sir in the comment section. Before that, one more announcement I would like to make, that if you want to download the PDF of this particular session, the PDF of this particular session is available on my Telegram channel, and I hope you can see the link of the Telegram channel as well as the QR code is now available on the screen. Got it, guys? Good to go? Good to go? Just give me a thumbs up. Are we good to go so that we can begin the discussion without any further delay? Quickly, I'm just waiting for your reply, guys. Give me a thumbs up so that we can begin. Everything is fine. I'm loud and clear. Okay then. Okay. For sure, Prachi. From next session onwards, I will be updating, or I'll make sure that I'm updating you regarding all these kind of informations. Chalo ji. Here we go with the first news of the day. The first news is very easy. You have gone through with this news or you have heard about this particular news from me itself, but today I will be concluding it in one go. So what is the news all about? Actually, guys, there have been 3 announcements which have been made by RBI related to the latest amendment. So first amendment is related to, or I'll start my discussion. The amendment is related to KYC, know your customer. With respect to know your customer, there is a term related to update or periodic updation, as well as there is an update related to the inoperative or unclaimed accounts. Inoperative or unclaimed accounts. So in one go, I will be explaining the entire news, and then we will be reading out the news quickly so that we can conclude it. So please pay attention, guys. This is going to be very easy. It's going to be very easy and it will be a fun to understand a news in this manner. Guys, let's suppose there is an individual and this individual name is Madhav. First of all, we all know that whatsoever is your age, you are allowed to open up a saving account, you are allowed to open up a deposit account with the bank irrespective of your age, where earlier the criteria was 10 years, which has been revised by RBI recently. I hope you remember that. But whenever you reach to the bank or you reach to the regulated entity, in that particular scenario, bank wants to know you. Bank wants to identify the source of funds. Bank wants to know from where you are earning the funds and how or in what manner you are going to spend them. So in that particular case, bank will ask you to fulfill the KYC form. We call it as know your customer form, and you have to fulfill all the norms which are mentioned. Basically talks about your OVD. What is OVD? That is officially valid document. That is basically the government ID which is accepted from the customer, and once it is authenticated, that means regulated entity has a good information regarding the individual's address and everything like that. So Madhav has approached to the regulated entity for the very first time. This regulated entity has now recorded the Madhav's KYC data, and kept it with itself in the form of UCIC. Along with that, regulated entity is supposed to forward this data on the central KYC registry. Now, what is the benefit? So the benefit is, once the regulated entity has maintained the entire data of Madhav, that means the documents which have been submitted by Madhav, it has been recorded with the regulated entity. Now, after few months, if Madhav wants to open up a current account, earlier Madhav has opened up a savings account, and now Madhav wants to open up a fixed deposit account with the regulated entity. In that particular case, Madhav is not supposed to share all the documents again. Rather, regulated entity can retrieve this document from its own server, which has been stored with a unique code, with respect to the individual. The name of the individual is Madhav. Got it? Now, this is the first thing. Second thing is, if let's say Madhav approaches to some other bank. One second, guys. Let's say Madhav approaches to some other bank. In that particular case, again, this regulated entity can obtain all the documents with respect to Madhav from this central KYC registry, and this can be obtained only after the consent taken from Madhav. पहले Madhav से consent लेना होगा, पहले Madhav से permission लेनी होगी. क्या सर, हम आपके information को, हम आपके पूरे के पूरे documents को retrieve कर सकते हैं from the CKYCR? If I say yes, then they will be retrieving it from CKYCR, and there is no need to submit the documents again. The next point is, every regulated entity should update the data on the central KYC in 7 days. Shall update the data on the central KYC in 7 days. Secondly, this data will be utilized in order to make the process seamless, in order to complete the process of KYC seamless. There is one more update regarding the periodic updation. So regarding the periodic updation, what has been announced in this particular amendment? So the announcement has been done. If a customer is high risk customer, then its KYC will be updated after a span of 2 years. Moderate risk customer, KYC will be updated after 8 years, and in case of low risk customer, KYC will be updated after a span of 10 years. Now, at the time of updating the KYC, banks or the regulated entities, they can update the KYC directly. But even they can allow the bank correspondents. What are these bank correspondents? You can say these are the bank agents who are providing banking services to the public on the behalf of the bank. So these bank correspondents, they are also allowed to complete the process of KYC, so that the backlogs, the pending, or I would say the lot of KYCs which are pending, that could be completed as soon as possible. Then there is one more point in this latest amendment. The amendment says, regarding this periodic updation, obviously there is going to be a due date. There is going to be a due date for every customer. There is going to be a due date for every customer. There is going to be a due date for every entity. So there is a condition. Condition is, bank should intimate the entity 3 times. Bank should intimate the entity 3 times, and out of these 3 times, at least one time intimation should be done with the help of letter, that yes, भैया ये आपकी due date है, and you need to complete your process of KYC before the due date. So 3 times intimation will be done. Once the due date is crossed, then after the due date also, entity will be informed 3 times again entity will be informed 3 times again, out of which at least 1 time information will be shared or intimation will be done with the help of letter. अब क्वेश्चन ये आता है कि सर अगर केवाईसी कंप्लीट नहीं हुआ, केवाईसी अपडेट नहीं हुआ, उस केस में क्या होगा? सर उस केस में एज पर दी frequently asked question section in the RBI, on the RBI website, it says that your account services will be dismissed. Your account services will be dismissed. और यहां पर एक पॉइंट और ऐड किया गया लेटेस्ट अमेंडमेंट में, वो क्या कि सर अगर हाई रिस्क कस्टमर का केवाईसी अपडेट नहीं हुआ, ऑब्वियसली सर्विसेज डिसमिस कर सकता है बैंक. फॉर मॉडरेट ऑल्सो बैंक कैन dismiss the services, but in case of low risk customer, these services will not be dismissed for next 1 year. तो low risk customer की केस में there is a window given for next 1 year, और by 30th June 2026, अगर 30th June 2026 तक आप कंप्लीट कर लेते हैं अपनी केवाईसी अपडेट को आफ्टर द ड्यू डेट. अब मान लो आपका जो ड्यू डेट है दैट इज ऑन लेट्स से आज कितनी डेट है, let's say that what is the date today, let me see. So the date today is 18th. So let's suppose your due date is 18th of June, है ना? If your due date is 18th of June, you will get 1 year, or by 30th of June 2026, whichever is later, you will be given the time where you can complete the KYC, and your account services or your account day-to-day services will not be dismissed, only and only in case of low risk customer, but it won't be applicable for high risk as well as moderate risk customer. क्लियर हो गई बात? इजी है, समझ आ गई. ये पूरी कहानी है जो हम पढ़ने वाले हैं अगले 15 मिनट में या 10 मिनट में. दिस इज द एंटायर स्टोरी. इफ इट इज क्लियर, मजा आया हो, विजुअलाइज हुआ हो, जस्ट गिव मी यस सर. ऑब्वियसली थोड़ा सा चीजें स्कैटर्ड है बिकॉज आई हैव गिवन ऑल द थिंग्स इन वन गो. व्हेन आई विल बी रीडिंग देम वन बाय वन, एवरीथिंग विल बी क्लियर. ठीक है जी. ड्राफ्ट में कुछ चेंज नहीं है, बट ड्राफ्ट से कुछ चीजें अपडेट हुई हैं. जैसे ये चीज ड्राफ्ट में मेंशन नहीं थी, ड्यू डेट वाला पार्ट कि 3 बार इंटीमेट किया जाएगा. ये इंटीमेशन वाला पार्ट इन्फॉर्म करना होगा, ये पहले से गिवन नहीं था. अगला जो पॉइंट है कि लो रिस्क कस्टमर को 1 साल तक का विंडो दिया जाएगा, दैट वाज आल्सो नॉट मेंशन. रेस्ट ऑल द सर्विसेज आर, और रेस्ट ऑल द टर्म्स आर सेम एज मेंशन इन द ड्राफ्ट. ठीक है टीना, क्लियर हो गया? चलो लेट्स क्विकली रीड इट आउट. So RBI has updated its rule with regards to inoperative account as well as unclaimed account. अच्छा, ये वाला पार्ट भी मैं यहीं ऐड कर लेता हूं. What I'm trying to say about this as well, let me add that also, then we will read in one go ताकि एक ही बार में सारी चीजें क्लियर हो जाएं. The next point is guys, if you are holding a deposit account with a bank, है ना? You are holding a deposit account with a bank and you are not using your account for last 10 years. If you have not used your account for last 10 years, then in that particular case, no financial as well as no non-financial transaction has been done in past 10 years, then your account will be termed as unclaimed account, and the deposits, that is the principal as well as interest, will be transferred to RBI, and RBI will deposit this fund into DEF, which is an account opened for spreading the awareness, financial awareness to the public. We call it as Depositor Education and Awareness Fund account. Similarly, if a customer wants to recover that unclaimed amount, then in that particular case, this individual will reach to the regulated entity, and the regulated entity will ask the individual to complete the KYC process again. Earlier, individuals supposed to go to the home branch in order to complete this KYC process, or in order to fulfill the KYC conditions, so that the funds can be paid back to the customer from DEF account. But now this KYC is allowed on non-home branch also. This KYC update is allowed on non-home branch also. Even if you cannot go to the branch, on your request, you can enjoy the services with the help of a video identification process also. With the help of the video identification process also, where the customer is identified through video. We call it as video customer identification process. So that is also allowed. Now, what is the revision? So the revision is, in case your account is declared as unclaimed account, or maybe your account is declared as inoperative account. Inoperative account means for 2 years you have not made any transaction, financial or non-financial transaction, then your account is inoperative. Your account services are suspended temporarily. If you want to restart or restore your account services, then again you have to complete the KYC, or you have to complete the KYC norms again. And in order to complete these KYC norm, you can either go to the non-home branch, you can go to the branch, and even you can use the service, that is video customer identification process. Is it clear, everyone? Is it clear? So if it is clear, just give me yes, sir. I'll answer that question. Semik. Give me few minutes. Okay. Now let's read out the entire content. Give me 5-7 minutes. Let me read the entire story for you, what I have just explained, then I will be taking your doubts for sure. So RBI has updated the rules regarding inoperative account, 2 years, unclaimed account, 10 years. I hope you understand what is 2 years, what is 10 years. The latest instructions are called as inoperative account, unclaimed deposit, revised instructions 2025, and they are immediately into force. Credit balance in any deposit account which has been declared as unclaimed account will be transferred to the RBI's Depositors Education Awareness Fund. This Depositors Education Awareness Fund is a very important account. It's a very important fund which is maintained by RBI, because this fund or this account is basically used by RBI. It is basically used by RBI in order to spread financial awareness among the public. That is the reason we call it as what, sir? It is called as Depositor Education Awareness Fund, which is established by RBI under Section 26 of Banking Regulation Act 1949. And this account is basically created. This account was basically created under a scheme known as DEA Fund, that is Depositor Education Awareness Fund Scheme 2014. Okay, under that particular scheme, this account was introduced, this account was created. Moving back to the point, the latest guidelines were released on 12th of June, which has 3 important points with respect to inoperative as well as unclaimed account. First point is, bank will make available the facility. Bank will make available the facility. Bank will make available the facility of updation of KYC for activation of inoperative accounts and unclaimed account at all branches, including non-home branches. तो पहला जो पॉइंट है वो क्या, कि अब आपकी जो KYC अपडेट है वो नॉन होम ब्रांच पर भी हो जाएगा, which was not allowed earlier for inoperative as well as unclaimed account. Second is, you can update your KYC if you request the bank, and if the service is available, then you can enjoy the service, that is video customer identification service, where the customer will be identified live with the help of a video call. Third but not the least, last but not the least, is bank may even use the facilities of an authorized business correspondent to activate inoperative account. So in case of inoperative account, bank can even use the service provided by the banking correspondents. That means banking correspondents, they can also update the KYC. They can also update the KYC so that the restoration or the reactivation of inoperative accounts can be done. So these are the 3 points: non-home branch, second is video customer identification process, and third is your business correspondent with respect to inoperative accounts. Now, if I move ahead to the next point I have is related to the amendments. If I talk about these amendments, the first amendment which I'm going to discuss over here is related to the KYC wala part. The question is, what was the need of this particular announcement? What was the need of this particular announcement? So the need of this particular announcement was many of the accounts KYC is not updated in the past, and the pendency is increasing on regular basis. So Reserve Bank has observed large pendency in the periodic updation of KYC, including the accounts which have been opened for direct benefit transfer. I hope you understand what is direct benefit transfer. Direct benefit transfer basically means the the account in which you enjoy the credit directly from the government against the services, against the subsidies, against the benefits which government wants to provide. For example, LPG subsidy is now directly credited into the customer's account, into the consumer's account, that is DBT. So open for DBT, that is direct benefit transfer, or maybe open for electronic benefit transfer, one of the same thing under the government schemes to facilitate credit of DBTs as well as scholarship amount and account opened under Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana. So RBI has observed that the accounts which are open under Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana, or maybe the accounts which are open to enjoy direct benefit transfer services given by the government under different government schemes, they are witnessing huge pendency in terms of KYC update. So in order to ease out this process, in order to fasten up this KYC updation, in order to reduce this pendency, RBI ने क्या कहा? RBI ने कहा भैया अब ज़्यादा टेंशन लेने की ज़रूरत नहीं है. You use your banking correspondents to do this task for you. और banking correspondents जो आपके लिए task perform करेंगे, banking correspondents जब आपके लिए ये task perform करेंगे, what you need to do is, when this task is performed by banking correspondents, what you need to do in that particular case? Sir, in that particular case, as a bank, you just have to verify the data. In that particular case, as a bank, you just have to verify the data. You just have to do the verification wala part, which is really very important. Second point is RBI has also asked the banks as well as the financial institutes to organize camps as well as launch intensive campaigns. या फिर लॉन्च करो या ऑर्गेनाइज करो कैंप्स जहां पे इंक्लूड करेंगे आप periodic updation of KYC, especially in rural and semi-urban branches and branches having large pendency in the periodic updation of KYC. तो second suggestion जो दिया गया इस announcement में, वो second suggestion क्या है? So the second suggestion is RBI has asked the banks कि आप क्या करो, camps को introduce करो या camps को organize करो, और एक camp पर you allow or you invite the public so that the public can get their KYC updated right away in that camp only rather than visiting to the branch. This is helpful basically in that particular case where the number of branches, it is helpful in that particular case where the branches are apart, the distance is quite large and public is not in a position to reach to the branches very easily. So in that particular case, they can utilize this camp in order to enjoy the service. Got it, guys? These first two points are clear. और इसमें जो सबसे important point है वो क्या? सर जो banking correspondent है, that can be used for KYC update, that can be used to collect the data from the public. They will be collecting the data from the public. So how business correspondents operate? एक simple सा example है, let's say there is a bank and this bank don't want to open up a branch in a rural area where the number of residents or the population of that area is pretty low. So what they have done, they have tied up with a grocery store in that particular rural area, and that grocery store is given access to provide banking services to the customers. So the customers they enjoy the banking services from this grocery store, and the grocery store, if it accepts deposits or if it has sanctioned loan, then in that particular case these values are going to be updated. These all services are going to be updated on the bank, and bank will update all those information in the server corresponding to the customer which we are focusing upon. Okay? That is what we call it as banking correspondent. Now these banking correspondents, they can complete the process of KYC on the behalf of the customer. Koi doubt? Any doubt till this point you may ask please. Guys, any doubt till this point you may ask please. नहीं सैम आप समझे नहीं इस पॉइंट को. मैं एक इंडिविजुअल हूं, मेरा अकाउंट इनऑपरेटिव है. I can go to the bank branch. Let's suppose I am from Punjab. The name of the city is X. So my branch in X city in Punjab, where I have opened up my account, this is my home branch. ठीक है. Right now I'm staying in Delhi, so if I want to update my KYC, then I can get it updated in Delhi itself by visiting any of the branch of the same bank. So that branch will be termed as non-home branch. So earlier, in case of inoperative accounts, this was not allowed. In case of unclaimed account, this was not allowed. But now you can update the KYC for inoperative as well as unclaimed account through the non-home branches as well. Through the non-home branches as well. लेकिन अब मान लो अगर आपका अकाउंट inoperative है, you go to the grocery store in your village who has been tied up with the bank and he has the license to operate as a banking correspondent, then you submit your documents to this grocery store. Grocery store will forward this document to the bank, and this forwarding and receiving of the document will be done, and even this grocery store or the business correspondent will give you an acknowledgement. You don't worry, your data has been shared, your documents have been shared, and with the help of these documents your KYC will be updated soon, and once it is updated you will receive the message. Ab clear ho gaya? Sam, is it clear? Is it clear everyone? Shall I move ahead? इससे ज़्यादा क्या explain करूँ यार, बच्चों की तरह एक एक चीज़ explain कर दी है. Now I'm expecting a reply from you all guys. If it is clear, just give me yes sir. Everyone quickly reply so that we can move ahead. Okay, moving on to the next point. What does the next point says? So the next point says the first amendment is related to the regulated entities shall adopt a risk-based approach for periodic updation. That means the periodic updation will be done. KYC will be updated periodically, but it will be on the basis of risk. Now the question is, someone has asked me, so what is a low risk customer? For example, I don't remember the name, but let's suppose there is an individual named A, is a government employee, and this government employee has opened up a deposit account with the bank, and this deposit account has been linked with the government salary which is credited on monthly basis. So this is an account which we can call as account with lowest risk. Why this account is with lowest risk? Because the salary will be credited by the government employee every month on the same date in the given account. So this account has a least risk in terms of bank asset and liability management. So for this case, we will be updating the KYC after 10 years. But on the other side, if there is a account where KYC norms are not fulfilled, the individual identification is not properly done, or certain criteria are not fulfilled, then in that particular case, that particular account will be checked, will be reviewed, KYC will be done again and again at a span of 2 years. Okay, moving on to the next point. The next point is, what happens if the periodic KYC is not done even after the intimation or reminders given by the bank? Then in that particular case, we will say, under the Prevention of Money Laundering Act 2005, it will enable the regulated entities to obtain the identity record from the customer, failing which the regulated entity shall close the account of the customer after giving due notice. तो due notice देने के बाद customer के पास ये bank के पास ये power है कि bank can close down your account. But as per the latest update, in case of a low risk account, if your KYC is not updated and your due date is crossed, then even after crossing the due date, you have a span of 1 year or till 30th June 2026, whichever is later. Till that timeline, you can enjoy your transactions, you can enjoy the transactions from your account seamlessly without any issue. This is possible only and only in case of low risk accounts, but in case of high risk and moderate risk, bank has the power to stop the services provided for the given account. The next amendment is you can use the business correspondent, you can use the banking correspondent. So in case if there is no change in your KYC detail, then a self-declaration will be given by the customer that there is no change in my KYC information. And if there is a change only in case of your address details, then also the authorization can be easily done through the business correspondent. Self-declaration is accepted by the bank as well as by the business correspondent. If the business correspondent has accepted it in physical mode or electronic mode, then business correspondent will forward it to the bank. Bank will review it, and once bank has authenticated, bank has accepted it, then the updation will be given to the customer that don't worry customer, your data has been received and your KYC will be updated soon, and once it is updated, we will be sharing the data to you. One point where we have already discussed that the regulated entity should share the KYC details on central KYC record registry, and this sharing should be done within a span of 7 days. This entire prelude was discussed in the starting itself. Now, the next point which we have already discussed, before due date 3 bar, you have to inform. Intimation should be given to the customer. After due date, 3 times intimation should be given to the customer. Letter of intimation, your reminder should include very easy instructions which are easy to understand with respect to the updating of KYC, and even it is given that if you need any help with respect to the same, this is the process of utilizing the help. Even if you have any issues, you can connect us on the given number that is also mentioned on the letter. And if you do not fulfill the KYC, what will be the repercussions that have also been written on that particular letter itself. वहाँ पे बहुत clearly mention होता है कि अगर आपने अपना KYC complete नहीं किया, we will stop your account services, we will stop you or we will bar you from using your account day-to-day services. Issue of such advance intimation or reminder shall be duly recorded in the regulated entity and should be started by the bank as per their capability, as per their understanding, as per their will, as per their capacity, but not later than 1st January 2026. इसका मतलब हर बैंक 3 बार पहले 3 बार बाद में इन्फॉर्म करेगा, और ये जो प्रोसेस है ये कब से स्टार्ट होगा? बिफोर 1st January 2026. कोई डेट नहीं है, ऐसा टाइमलाइन नहीं है कि यू हैव टू स्टार्ट नेक्स्ट मंथ और समथिंग लाइक दैट. बैंक अपनी कैपेसिटी के अकॉर्डिंग कभी भी इसे स्टार्ट कर सकता है, बट नॉट लेटर देन 1st January. तो 1st January 2026 तक इंडिया के सभी बैंक शुड बी implementing this 3 times before due date intimation, 3 times after due date intimation. Is it clear, everyone? Last part, the central nodal officer under the UAPA, that is Unlawful Activity Prevention Act, is now designated as Joint Secretary, earlier termed as Additional Secretary, and the all states and union territories, they will also appoint UAPA nodal officer, preferably of the rank of Principal Secretary. These are the 2 more amendments which have been included. These amendments have not been done under this act, they were done by the government, but now they have been included in this particular amendment wala part. Is it clear, everyone? Is it clear? Now, in my previous discussion, I have discussed with you what is UICIC. So UCIC is basically what? So it is the unique, whenever we use this word UCIC, I have given the details which you can refer after this session. And if there is any doubt ki UCIC kya hai, sir, it stands for what? Any idea? It stands for what? It stands for Unique Customer Identification Code, which is generated by the bank. Then what is customer due diligence? So it is basically verifying the customer identity and assessing their risk profile. One is standard due diligence, which is used for low risk profiles, and for high risk profile we use enabled, we use enhanced due diligence criteria or due diligence procedure. How the revision is done? So the periodic updation of KYC is done in case of high risk customer every 2 years, medium risk customer every 8 years, low risk customer every 10 years. UAPA, that is Unlawful Activities Prevention Act, remember this. Last thing which you need to remember, in this discussion is related to CKYC. It is related to CKYC. I've read the entire detail of CKYC, just read it once, and even I have added the detail related to the process of KYC. Please pay attention guys. Whenever we talk about KYC, the process of onboarding का मतलब क्या हुआ कि अगर आप बैंक में जाकर अपना अकाउंट ओपन करते हैं तो आप KYC कैसे कैसे कर सकते हैं, how bank can know you. So bank can know you face to face. That means you go to the bank, बैंक का ऑफिसर आपको मिलेगा, आप बैंक के ऑफिसर को मिलोगे. You are standing here, bank officer is sitting in front of you. This kind of interaction where the KYC process, KYC norms are completed, we call it as face-to-face mode for onboarding the customer. In case of non-face-to-face mode, आप घर बैठे, you're sitting at home, no video call, nothing. You receive a call from the bank और बैंक कहता है कि सर we want to authenticate, we want to verify your profile. We will be generating an OTP, one-time password against your Aadhaar card, and you will get the OTP on your registered mobile number, which is not registered with the bank, which is registered with your Aadhaar card. So you just share that OTP with us so that we can be sure कि ये जो आपका आधार कार्ड, ये जो डॉक्यूमेंट आपने हमें मेल किए हैं या फिर जो डॉक्यूमेंट हमने आपके डिजी लॉकर में से रिट्रीव किए हैं या फिर डॉक्यूमेंट जो हमने केवाईसी आइडेंटिफायर से रिसीव किए हैं. केवाईसी आइडेंटिफायर मतलब ये जो CKYCR में जो डॉक्यूमेंट्स पड़े हैं वो डॉक्यूमेंट जो जब रिसीव किए जाएं विद द हेल्प ऑफ अ यूनिक कोड, दैट इज KYC आइडेंटिफायर. सो इन ऑर्डर टू ऑथेंटिकेट दोज डॉक्यूमेंट्स, OTP based e-verification is done. We call it as non-face to face. And the last one, we call it as video based customer identification process, which we have already discussed. इसके अलावा we have one more term that is known as simplified process of updation. So for the simplified process of updation, we have already discussed all the points. Is it clear guys? So we have covered 3 RBI notifications in past 34 minutes. So if it is clear, just give me yes sir. अब in 3 notifications say there is a chances you can have a question in phase 1 as well as in phase 2, but majority chances are that you will be getting an MCQ from these 3 notifications which we have just discussed. If it is clear, just give me yes sir. Done? Okay. Moving on to the next point. Now the next point is National Statistical Office. So the National Statistics Office, which is operating under the Ministry of Stat and Program Implementation, has released Consumer Price Index inflation rates for rural areas, for urban areas, as well as combined CPI for the month of May 2025. Now you must be wondering कि सर इस डेटा को हमें याद करना है या नहीं. देन माय आंसर वुड बी, इस डेटा को याद करना है या नहीं, उसका आंसर ये है कि आपका एग्जामिनेशन लेट्स सपोज अगर अगस्त में होगा तो इस केस में जुलाई का डेटा काफी इंपॉर्टेंट है, जुलाई के साथ साथ जून का डेटा भी इंपॉर्टेंट है. बट दैट डजंट मीन दैट यू शुड रिमेंबर द डेटा ऑफ द मंथ ऑफ मे. बट मैंने मंथ ऑफ मे का डेटा दिया क्यों, उसका रीजन है CPI हैज ड्रॉप्ड 75 मंथ लो, यानी 6 साल 3 महीने से सबसे कम है, that is 2.82%. This marked the 4th straight month that inflation has stayed below 4%. This decline is due to retail inflation. This decline in retail inflation is largely due to the decrease in food inflation, or the price of food items has decreased a lot. So don't remember the data. You must know the reasons. Why inflation rate is falling due to low food inflation, favorable base effects, as well as lower price increase in the essential items are the reasons because of which the inflation is all time down. I've even given you a reference. Food inflation is lowest since October 2021. So food inflation is lowest since October 2021. Overall CPI inflation rates are lowest are lowest since February 2019, and remember that all other rates are decreasing on one side. All other rates are decreasing on one side, but on the other side, core inflation is increasing. So core inflation means the inflation which exclude fuel and food. If we exclude food and fuel, in that particular case, core inflation is calculated, or that inflation is known as core inflation. And this core inflation is also is not falling down in line with the overall inflation. So overall inflation is falling down, but if I specifically talk about core inflation, it is increasing on month basis. There is one more data related to the states and union territories. Kerala and Punjab recorded highest inflation rates. Telangana, Bihar and Andhra Pradesh recorded the lowest inflation rate. So it's just for your reference. This can help you in writing a descriptive answer. And this data can help you in answering the MCQ based question. So this is only what you need to remember from here. So I hope all your doubts कि भैया इतने सारे data में क्या याद करना है, क्या नहीं याद करना, I hope I have answered all your questions in an appropriate manner. If it is clear till this point, just give me yes, sir. If it is clear till this point, just give me yes, sir, so that I can move ahead. Okay. Now we will move on to the next notification of RBI. The next notification is related to state government securities. We call it as stripping, or we call it as reconstitution. First of all, before I start discussing this particular news, I would like to discuss with you what actually is the meaning of the word stripping. What actually is the meaning of the word stripping or reconstitution? Okay? I'll take an example to explain you this. Guys, let's suppose there is a government security and the face value means the value written on the government security. The value written on the government security is 10,000 rupees. Value written on the government security is 10,000 rupees. And what is the rate of interest? Sir, we have a coupon rate. What is coupon rate? That is the rate of interest. It is 10% per annum. It is 10% per annum. Okay? Which means if I am an individual and I purchase this government security from the government, obviously I will be paying 10,000 rupees to the government. And against 10,000 rupees which I have paid to the government, I will be receiving this particular piece of paper. Against this particular piece of paper, every year, for example, I have purchased it for 5 years. Then after 1 year, after 2 year, after 3 year, after 4 year, and after 5 year, I will be receiving the funds. So after 1 year, I'll receive interest, that is 1,000 rupees. After 2 years, I will receive interest, again 1,000 rupees. After 3 years, again I will receive interest, that is 1,000 rupees. Again after 4 years, I receive interest, that is 4,000 rupees. And after 5 years, I will be receiving the interest 1,000, and even maturity is there. I will be returning that security. If I return that security, I will get the face value and I will get 10,000 rupees in return. This is how we invest, है ना? इसीलिए हम इन्वेस्ट करते हैं. बट अब यहाँ पे एक प्रॉब्लम आई. प्रॉब्लम क्या आई कि सर ये जो गवर्नमेंट सिक्योरिटीज हैं, दीज आर द इंस्ट्रूमेंट्स विच आर ट्रेडेबल. ट्रेडेबल मीन्स गवर्नमेंट ने कहा कि सर ये जो गवर्नमेंट सिक्योरिटीज है ना, देयर इज नो नीड टू होल्ड देम फॉर नेक्स्ट 5 years. इफ यू वांट, you can sell them in the secondary market. You can sell them in the secondary market means you can sell this security to someone else and you receive your funds and you go away. For example, after 1 year, I have received 1,000 rupees as an interest from the government, and just after receiving the interest, I'm selling down this government security. And let's suppose I have sold down this government security for at face value only. Let's say I've sold it for 10,000. तो जो पैसा मुझे 1 साल के बाद मिलना था, जो पैसा मुझे 4 साल के बाद मिलना है, वो पैसा मुझे आज मिल गया, दैट इज 10,000, और 1 साल का इंटरेस्ट भी मिल गया, दैट इज 1,000। तो एक समझो कि मैंने 10,000 रुपए इन्वेस्ट किए, 1 साल का इंटरेस्ट मिला 1,000, आफ्टर 1 year आई हैव 11,000 इन माई हैंड। दिस इज पॉसिबल बिकॉज आई कैन ट्रेड माई गवर्नमेंट सिक्योरिटीज, I can trade my government securities on the what sir, I can trade my government securities on this in the secondary market। अब ये तो 10,000 था, तो it was possible to sell, but let's suppose if I talk about a huge value of security, if I talk about a huge value of security, I'm just removing my image, let's suppose the huge value of security is 10,000 करोड़, 10,000 करोड़, और इन सिक्योरिटीज को आपने अलग अलग फॉर्मेट में या अलग अलग डिनोमिनेशन में यू हैव इंट्रोड्यूस फॉर द पब्लिक। नाउ वन सिक्योरिटी which has been introduced against this 10,000 crore value is of 1,000 rupees with coupon rate of 10% per annum but paid half yearly। पेड हाफ ईयरली का मतलब क्या सर? इस केस में जो आपकी पेमेंट होगी दैट विल बी डन आफ्टर 6 months। नाउ व्हाट इज स्ट्रिपिंग? स्ट्रिपिंग का मतलब क्या है सर? स्ट्रिपिंग का मतलब है जब आप अपनी गवर्नमेंट सिक्योरिटी को 2 हिस्सों में बांटते हो। 2 हिस्सों में बांटने का मतलब कि ये मेरी गवर्नमेंट सिक्योरिटी है, एक सिर्फ और सिर्फ प्रिंसिपल, दूसरा सिर्फ और सिर्फ इंटरेस्ट, प्रिंसिपल डिफरेंट, इंटरेस्ट डिफरेंट, प्रिंसिपल डिफरेंट, इंटरेस्ट डिफरेंट, दैट इज बेसिकली नोन एज स्ट्रिपिंग। अब इसमें क्या होगा? इफ आई टेक एन एग्जांपल टू एक्सप्लेन यू this entire story, please pay attention guys, you are going to enjoy this, I can assure you। Let's take an example। There's an individual named Madhav। So Madhav has purchased the government security, and this government security has purchased by Madhav for a value of, at a face value of 10,000 rupees, and coupon rate is 10% per annum, but it is paid half yearly। हाफ ईयरली वाला कॉन्सेप्ट मैं जानबूझ के लेके आया हूँ क्योंकि मेजॉरिटी सिक्योरिटीज में हाफ ईयरली पेमेंट होती है। तो हाफ ईयरली पेमेंट का मतलब क्या हुआ सर? हाफ ईयरली पेमेंट का मतलब ये है कि अगर इंटरेस्ट 10% है यानी 1,000, हर 6 महीने पे इंटरेस्ट कितना मिलेगा? 500 रुपीज। हर 6 महीने पे इंटरेस्ट कितना मिलेगा? दैट इज 500 रुपीज। एंड लेट्स सपोज द मैच्योरिटी ऑफ दिस सिक्योरिटी इज 2 years। ठीक है, टुडे इज व्हाट डेट सर? टुडे इज 18th of June 2025। नाउ आफ्टर 6 months, जुलाई, अगस्त, सितंबर, अक्टूबर, नवंबर, दिसंबर, है ना, ऑन 18th of December 2025 I have received 500 rupees as interest। I have received 500 rupees as interest, and I have this instrument with me on which it is written the face value is 10,000 and coupon rate is 10% per annum। Now I am in need of funds। मुझे पैसों की जरूरत है। अब मैंने क्या किया? मैंने RBI से परमिशन ली और मैंने RBI को कहा कि RBI मुझे अपनी सिक्योरिटी को स्ट्रिप डाउन करना है, काटना है। RBI ने कहा ठीक है। तो RBI ने कहा ये जो आपकी सिक्योरिटी है इसकी एक हिस्सा होगा दैट विल बी नोन एज प्रिंसिपल ऑफ वैल्यू 10,000 और दूसरा हिस्सा जो होगा दैट विल बी इंटरेस्ट रेट। और इंटरेस्ट रेट कितना है सर? 10% पर एनम, या फिर यू कैन कॉल इट एज 1,000 रुपीज। यू कैन कॉल इट एज 1,000 रुपीज। लेकिन पेमेंट कब होगी? सब पेमेंट हो रही है ऑन हाफ ईयरली बेसिस, तो आप इसको हाफ ईयरली 5% पर हाफ ईयर कर लो या 10% पर एनम कर लो, इट्स अप टू यू। अब क्या हुआ? आई वेंट टू द सेकेंडरी मार्केट, और सेकेंडरी मार्केट में मैंने ये जो सिक्योरिटी है, आई सोल्ड दिस सिक्योरिटी टू एन इंडिविजुअल, और उस इंडिविजुअल को कहा कि भैया ये 10,000 की सिक्योरिटी है, मुझसे खरीद लो और इसके बदले में 10,000 रुपए आपको RBI से मिल जाएंगे आफ्टर 2 years या आफ्टर 1.5 years। द इंडिविजुअल जो ये सामने खड़ा है राहुल, ही सेज सर मुझे फायदा क्या होगा? What would be the benefit? You are selling a security which is of face value 10,000 rupees, and you say that I will be receiving 10,000 on maturity, then how I'm going to earn the profit? Madhav replied that, sir, I will be selling this security at a discounted value. Discounted means I'm ready to sell this security of worth 10,000 rupees to you at just 9,000 rupees. So what will be your benefit? Your benefit is you are investing 9,000, but you will be receiving a return of 10,000, which means 1,000 rupees of return you will be earning by investing on this particular security. So whenever we sell the securities, whenever we trade the securities or the debt instruments with zero rate of interest, we call them as zero coupon bond, and these zero coupon bonds, they are discounted below फेस वैल्यू. डिस्काउंटेड बिलो फेस वैल्यू मतलब दे आर सोल्ड आउट बिलो फेस वैल्यू, और फेस वैल्यू में और सेल प्राइस में या मार्केट प्राइस में जो डिफरेंस है दैट इज गोइंग टू बी द रिटर्न ऑफ द बायर. दैट इज गोइंग टू बी द रिटर्न ऑफ द बायर. बोलो ये पॉइंट समझ आया? व्हाट इज जीरो कूपन बॉन्ड? ये पॉइंट समझ आया? और जीरो कूपन बॉन्ड में मैंने कहा डिस्काउंटेड बिलो फेस वैल्यू. ये पॉइंट समझ आया? ये वैल्यू समझ आई? बहुत बढ़िया. ना 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 ना, यहां पे राहुल को कोई इंटरेस्ट नहीं मिलेगा. इंटरेस्ट वाला सेगमेंट मैंने राहुल को दिया ही नहीं. मैं तो राहुल को कहा कि भैया मैंने गवर्नमेंट को 10,000 रुपए दिए हैं, ये कागज आप रख लो. इस कागज के बदले में यू कैन गो एंड टेक 10,000 रुपीज फ्रॉम द गवर्नमेंट आफ्टर 1.5 years. आई एम रेडी टू सेल इट एट 9,000. यू इन्वेस्ट 9,000 टुडे and you will get 10,000 after 1.5 years. This is it. You will not get any interest. You will not get any interest. Is it clear, Samek? If it is clear, give me yes. Now, simultaneously, I approach to one more individual. Let's say I go to an individual named Samek. मैंने Samek को कहा, मैंने कहा Samek, कुछ पैसे हैं आपको इन्वेस्ट करने हो. सैमिक सेड यस सर, मेरा मन तो है मैं कुछ पैसे इन्वेस्ट करूं. मैंने कहा ठीक है, मेरे पास स्ट्रिप्स हैं. आई कॉल देम एज कूपन स्ट्रिप्स. कूपन स्ट्रिप का मतलब क्या सर? कूपन स्ट्रिप का मतलब है इस स्ट्रिप के बदले में हर 6 महीने बाद, पहली स्ट्रिप के बदले में 6 महीने बाद यू विल गेट 500 रुपीज. फिर 1 साल बाद यू विल गेट अगेन 500 रुपीज. फिर 1.5 साल बाद यू विल गेट अगेन 500 rupees. I have 3 strips for you. If you want, you can purchase. SEBI, what will be the benefit? I said, I'm ready to sell the first interest strip or coupon strip for 400 rupees. मतलब आज आप मुझे 400 rupees देंगे on 18 December and after 6 months you will receive 500 rupees. तो आपने 400 लगाकर 100 रुपए कमा लिए. मैंने कहा आप मुझे इस स्ट्रिप के बदले में दीजिए 300 rupees. तो आज आपने 300 इन्वेस्ट किए. अगेंस्ट दिस 300 रुपीज ऑफ इन्वेस्टमेंट यू विल गेट 500 रुपीज ऑफ रिटर्न आफ्टर 1 year, एंड अगेंस्ट दिस यू पे मी 200 रुपीज. और अगर आज आपने मुझे 200 रुपए दिए, यू विल बी एबल टू रिसीव 500 रुपीज आफ्टर 1.5 years. आफ्टर 1.5 years. इज दिस पॉइंट क्लियर? तो मैंने प्रिंसिपल को डिस्काउंट किया बिलो फेस वैल्यू, मैंने इंटरेस्ट को भी डिस्काउंट किया बिलो फेस वैल्यू, क्योंकि आप ये समझो इंटरेस्ट इज अ डिफरेंट इंस्ट्रूमेंट, नाउ प्रिंसिपल इज अ डिफरेंट इंस्ट्रूमेंट. दोनों को मैंने डिस्काउंट कर दिया. किस पर? आपके डिस्काउंटेड वैल्यू पर, आपकी बिलो फेस वैल्यू. अब यहां पर बीइंग अ इन्वेस्टर मुझे क्या बेनिफिट हुआ? मैंने 10,000 रुपए इन्वेस्ट किए थे और उस 10,000 के साथ साथ 18 दिसंबर को मुझे 500 रुपए का इंटरेस्ट मिल गया फ्रॉम गवर्नमेंट. सही है, 500 रुपए का इंटरेस्ट मिल गया फ्रॉम गवर्नमेंट. हाँ, माधव के फायदे की बात कर रहा हूं. अनिरुद्धा, आई एम विद यू. ठीक है, तो 500 रुपए का तो फायदा मुझे ये हो गया. इज इट करेक्ट अनिरुद्धा? सेकेंड बेनिफिट इज वो जो 9,000 रुपए हैं जो मुझे मिले हैं, कहां से? राहुल से. तो 9,000 रुपए मुझे राहुल से मिले. 500 रुपए मुझे गवर्नमेंट ने दे दिए. 400 रुपए मुझे सैमिक ने दिए. 300 रुपए मुझे सैमिक ने दिए. 200 रुपए मुझे सैमिक ने दिए. तो अगर मैं इसे ऐड करूंगा 9,000, 500, 400 कितना हो गया? 5 + 4 9, 9 + 3 12, 12 + 2 14, 9,000 + 1,400 इज 10,400. मैंने कितना इन्वेस्ट किया था? What I have invested? I have invested 10,000 rupees. and against the investment of 10,000 in 6 months. In 6 months, what is my return? My return is, or my profit is 400 rupees. My profit is 400 rupees. Now अनिरुद्धा, आपको फिर यहाँ पे डाउट होगा, आप क्या कहोगे? माधव, आपने गलती की. क्यों गलती की? Rather than selling these securities, you must have holded it. Because if you have holded it, आपके पास 10,000 का ये security paper होता, plus you have received 500 rupees, you were in a position of 10,500 profit or 10,500 return. I would say no, Aniruddha, no. 10,500 is the face value. Against that face value, जब मैं उसे मार्केट में बेचने जाऊंगा, I'm not going to get 10,000 only. I will be getting something less than 10,000 for this instrument which I am holding in my hand. So I have just converted it into cash, and after converting it into cash, जो 10,000 लगाए थे उसके बदले में मुझे कितना प्रॉफिट हो गया? 400 का. और मेरा पैसा भी क्या हो गया? लिक्विड. 10,000 इन्वेस्ट किए, 10,000 वापस भी तो आ गए. 10,000 इन्वेस्ट किए तो 10,000 वापस भी तो आ गए, और उस 10,000 के साथ साथ 400 रुपए का प्रॉफिट भी हो गया. अब मेरे पास 10,400 है, सो दैट आई कैन इन्वेस्ट टू अर्न मोर प्रॉफिट इन द नियर फ्यूचर. बोलो, समझ आया? जिसको नहीं समझ आया, कोई डाउट है तो पूछ लो. अगर मुझे लगेगा आई शुड आंसर दैट डाउट तो मैं आंसर करूंगा. अदरवाइज यू शुड गो थ्रू विद दिस क्वेश्चन और दिस पार्ट अगेन इन द रिकॉर्डेड फॉर्म, और रिकॉर्डेड फॉर्म में इसे देख लीजिएगा. अनिरुद्धा वॉज वेरी concern about Madhav's profit, so I hope Aniruddha it is clear. Thank you so much. You were concerned कि माधव को कोई profit हो रहा है या नहीं. Don't worry, Madhav is earning. Don't worry. If we are dividing the money into two people, isn't it risky? Risky for whom? Risky for whom? Government security है भाई. Government security है. Most secured form of security, most so secured form of debt instrument. Risk क्यों? ना तो राहुल को कोई रिस्क है, ना ही सामिक को कोई रिस्क है. माधव ने अपना पैसा ऑलरेडी लिक्विड कर ही लिया, तो इसमें रिस्क का तो कोई पॉइंट ही नहीं है. इज इट क्लियर? अरे बोलो, इज इट क्लियर? सो नाउ द स्ट्रिपिंग ऑफ द गवर्नमेंट सिक्योरिटीज, नाउ स्ट्रिपिंग ऑफ द स्टेट गवर्नमेंट सिक्योरिटीज इज अलाउड बाय आरबीआई. अभी यही अगर आप स्ट्रिप्ड गवर्नमेंट सिक्योरिटीज को मिला दें दोबारा से आप प्रिंसिपल को और इंटरेस्ट के लिए जो आपने ये अलग अलग सिक्योरिटीज इशू किए, अगर आप उन सबको मिलाकर एक यूनिट बना लें, दैट इज नोन एज रिकॉन्स्टिट्यूशन. दैट इज नोन एज व्हाट? सो दैट इज नोन एज रिकॉन्स्टिट्यूशन. गॉट इट? क्लियर हो गया? ओके, चलो अब पढ़ते हैं, चीजें क्लियर हो जाएंगी. सो बेस्ड ऑन दी कंसल्टेशन विद इंडिविजुअल स्टेट गवर्नमेंट, union territory, and the feedback which has been received from the market participant, RBI has decided to introduce strips. Strips means separate trading of registered interest and principal of securities in state government securities, and principal of securities in state government securities. ये आज की बात नहीं है, 2019 में for the very first time government has talked about it. Regarding the state government securities, or you can call it as state development loans. RBI came up with this request that yes, we should allow strips. We should allow strips for state government securities. We should allow strips for state government securities. ठीक है जी, ये पॉइंट आया था. लेकिन 2019 के बाद फिर आरबीआई ने सारी की सारी स्टेट गवर्नमेंट से बात की, यूनियन टेरिटरीज से बात की, और उन सारे डिस्कशंस के बाद फाइनली 2025 में, फाइनली इन 2025 द डिसीजन हैज बीन टेकन दैट यस, वी विल बी स्ट्रिपिंग और वील अलाउ स्टेट गवर्नमेंट सिक्योरिटीज टू बी स्ट्रिप्ड. बट कोई कहे क्या सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट सिक्योरिटीज की स्ट्रिपिंग अलाउड है? यस, सिंस 1st April 2010 इट इज अलाउड बाय आरबीआई. It is allowed by RBI as well as government कि the central government securities can be stripped and they can be traded differently. Principal as well as interest can be traded differently. But now the question is for whom? So now the question is for your state government security. So stripping क्या होता है? I've explained you. Coupon strip क्या है? Principal strip क्या है? और reconstitution क्या है? I've explained the entire news or the entire process. But I have two questions. First question is, sir, what is the benefit? Why this stripping is done, or what is the motivation behind this stripping, and what kind of risk is involved behind stripping. I'll discuss that 2 point as well before I'll answer Aki's question. So can we sell the principal and keep the interest? Yeah, it's up to you, Aki. It's up to you. RBI has allowed you to, or you have been allowed by the authority to strip your security. Now it's up to you. You only want to sell principal. You only want to sell interest. You only want to sell interest. You want to hold your principal. It's up to you. It's purely up to you. You have to take the decision what you want to do. Is it clear? Now, what is the motivation behind stripping? So the motivation is the first one, yield curve. As you can see, my yield has increased. I have invested 10,000. And if, please pay attention, Aniruddha, I would like to recall, or I will like to call you again here. Let's suppose I have 10,000 rupees and I invest this 10,000 rupees in 6 months security. The return is only 2%. Security time period is low, return is low. What I have done, I have invested 10,000 rupees in a long-term security of 2 years and I sold it in the market by stripping it, and after 6 months I have earned 4% return. I have earned 4% return, which means stripping is motivating because it increases your returns. It increases your returns. Second point, it helps you to match your liabilities. For example, after 6 months, I have to pay the funds to someone. I don't want to pay entire funds to someone, but हो सकता है कि 10,000 रुपए जो मेरे पास थे, उसमें से मुझे कुछ हिस्सा पे आउट करना. So I can use the stripping वाला part and I can use the interest payment जो I have received from SEMIC to make my liability payments, or I can use this principal amount to pay back my liabilities. Along with this, monetary policy, central bank may strip bonds to manage the money supply as well in order to inject or in order to decrease the flow of money supply in the market. It will also help in emergency liquidation before maturity. Shraddha, I would say it will help you in liquidating your security before maturity easily. Why easily? क्योंकि आप सेल आउट तो अपनी सिक्योरिटी को वैसे भी कर सकते हैं सेकेंडरी मार्केट में, है ना? You can do it in the secondary market for sure, but now it will be easy because one side you have principal, other side you have interest, so you can target all kind of customers, the customer with huge investment capacity, customer with small investment capacity, because you are selling interest as well. In case of stripping, there are certain risks involved. Stripped bonds, they are sensitive to interest rate changes. Long-term strips are riskier, so you must go for stripping for short-term part only, don't go for long-term. Tax treatment varies by jurisdiction. Some countries tax imputed risk on strips annually, while other tax upon सेल और मेच्योरिटी. तो यहाँ पर 2 पॉइंट है. एक तो है कि सर अगर लॉन्ग टर्म में ये जो स्ट्रिप है वो रिस्की होगा बिकॉज मेच्योरिटी एक्सटेंशन हो गई, और टैक्स ट्रीटमेंट भी वेरी करेगा फॉर डिफरेंट नेशंस. दीज आर द 2 रिस्क व्हिच आर इन्वॉल्व्ड विद रिस्पेक्ट टू दिस पर्टिकुलर न्यूज. नाउ कमिंग बैक टू द करंट RBI announcement. If I talk about the current RBI announcement, as per the current RBI announcement, it says that the state government securities which are eligible for stripping, the eligibility is all fixed coupon security. Fixed coupon security means fixed interest rate. I'm not talking about index bonds. I'm not saying that the government security with interest rate which is not fixed, which is floating in nature, for that particular security stripping is not allowed. It is allowed only in case of those government securities which hold fixed interest rates. First condition. Their residual maturity. Residual maturity is, let's suppose government security was issued in 2020 for, let's say, 25 years till 2045. Till 2045. So overall maturity is 25 years. Today in 2025, what is the left out maturity? This is 20 years. So residual maturity is left out maturity as of today. So as of today, your left out maturity should be up to 14 years. It should not be more than 14 years. Minimum outstanding of that security on the day of stripping. So the minimum outstanding of the security on the day of stripping, the type of security which you are stripping down, is of 1,000 crore rupees. For example, state government की जो security है, that I'll name it as 1. So the outstanding of this government security should be 1,000 rupees on the day of stripping, provided that such securities are eligible for the purpose to meet SLR requirements as well. That means these banks, these securities, or I would say stripping is allowed only for those securities which are eligible under SLR, which are eligible for SLR, which means we know that bank hold certain amount in the form of gold, cash or government securities. So all those government securities issued by center or state government which are eligible or allowed by the RBI which are allowed by RBI, that banks can hold these government securities to match their SLR requirement. So those government securities are eligible for stripping. Obviously, stripping is possible only if the government securities are transferable. If the government securities are not transferable, then stripping is not allowed. Now, how the request is placed? If I talk about the placement of the request, guys, let's suppose I'm talking about a financial institute. Let's suppose I'm talking about a financial institute such as a commercial bank. I'm talking about a financial institute that could be a commercial bank, or it could be a scheduled urban cooperative bank. Scheduled urban cooperative bank. It could be insurance company. It could be pension fund company, or it could be mutual fund company, or it could be provident fund company. So these are the companies which hold an account with RBI, and we name that account as SGL. We name that account as SGL. याद करो. I have made you this point, or I have helped you to understand this point. If an individual wants to trade in the share market, then that particular individual must open up or must hold a trading account to trade the securities, must link a bank account, that is the current or saving account, with the trading account, as well as it should link a demat account with the trading account. तो जब आप कोई security खरीदेंगे, that security in the dematerialized form will be stored in this demat account, in a dematerialized form, and credit and debit of the funds will be done from this current or saving account which you have opened. Now here, commercial bank, scheduled urban cooperative banks, or your provident funds, your pension fund companies, your mutual fund. Okay. I hope I'm audible now. I hope I'm audible now. Just give me yes sir in the comment section. Just give me yes sir in the comment section. Okay. Okay, fine. So what I was discussing over here is that is the companies which we are talking about, like commercial banks, scheduled urban cooperative banks, pension funds, mutual fund companies. These all companies which we are referring over here, these all companies, they have an account with RBI, and we call this account as what? So we call this account as SGL. SGL stands for Subsidiary General Ledger. Subsidiary General Ledger. If someone asks me what is the meaning of Subsidiary General Ledger, then my answer to this particular question is Subsidiary General Ledger is basically an account which is maintained by the institutes, which is maintained by the primary dealers with RBI in order to hold their government securities in dematerialized forms. In order to hold their government securities in dematerialized form. So what is this? So these are SGLs, are the accounts which are open. SGL is an account which is open, which is opened by different commercial banks, by urban cooperative bank, by pension fund company, and whatever government security they are purchasing from RBI, because we know that RBI is the authority which is responsible to sell out the securities, government securities on the behalf of the government. So these government securities which are sold by RBI, those securities are purchased and holded or kept in a dematerialized form into these accounts only, and along with that they also hold a current account with RBI, and with the help of this current account they make debit or credit of the funds against the purchase or sale of securities done from RBI, against the sale or purchase of securities done from RBI. समझ आ गया यहां तक? क्लियर हो गया पॉइंट? क्लियर हो गया? अब मान लो एक अथॉरिटी है. Let's suppose there is an authority, there is a company, there is an individual who is not eligible to open up SGL, with the RBI. So in that particular case, this authority will go to the custodian. अब ये जो custodian है वो कौन हो सकता है? सब banks हो सकते हैं, primary dealers हो सकते हैं, which have the capacity to hold SGL with RBI. तो ये जो banks हैं, ये जो primary dealers हैं, they will hold CGSL, with RBI. और ये जो CGSL है, it stands for what? So the term CGSL stands for Constituents Subsidiary General Ledger. So this Constituent Subsidiary General Ledger is basically an account where on the behalf of the high net worth individual, bank has opened up a demat account with RBI where the purchased government securities from RBI can be stored in this particular account that is known as constituent, or that is basically termed as what? It is termed as Constituent Subsidiary. Constituent Subsidiary General Ledger. और ये क्या है? So this is only Subsidiary General Ledger. ये क्या है? This is only Subsidiary General Ledger. तो gilt account is basically designed to hold government securities and it is maintained by an entity or an individual with a custodian. अब पढ़ते हैं इसको. Market participants, they have SGL account with RBI. हाँ जी सर, बैंक के पास अपना SGL है RBI के पास, जहां पे वो they can place request directly in RBI CBS for stripping. So with the help of this SGL account on the RBI's core banking solution, they can request for stripping or reconstitution of the government securities. But let's suppose if you are a high net worth customer, you don't hold SGL, rather you hold a gilt account. The account which you hold in custodian, the account which you hold with custodian is the gilt account, and against this gilt account, your custodian open up a constituent subsidiary ledger account with RBI. So the gilt account holder should be placed with their respective custodian maintaining the CGL account with RBI. In turn, will place the request on the behalf of the constituent in EcoBay. समझ आ गई बात? इसका मतलब ये है कि जो बैंक्स हैं जिनके पास SGL है वो डायरेक्टली RBI पर रिक्वेस्ट कर सकते हैं स्ट्रिपिंग या रिकॉन्स्टिट्यूशन की. लेकिन अगर कोई हाई नेटवर्थ इंडिविजुअल है जिसने गिल्ट अकाउंट ओपन किया है विद द कस्टोडियन, मतलब विद द बैंक, विद द प्राइमरी डीलर, और प्राइमरी डीलर ने उस गिल्ट अकाउंट के कॉरेस्पॉन्डिंग CGSL ओपन करके दिया है. व्हाट इज दिस CGSL? So that is constituent subsidiary general ledger, जो कि कस्टोडियन ने यानी बैंक ने ऑन द बिहाफ ऑफ हाई नेटवर्थ कस्टमर मेंटेन किया है विद RBI, और उस अकाउंट में हाई नेटवर्थ इंडिविजुअल या फिर जो कस्टमर्स हैं ऑफ दिस अर्बन कोऑपरेटिव बैंक, ऑफ दिस प्राइमरी डीलर, उन कस्टमर्स के सिक्योरिटीज को डीमेटेरियलाइज फॉर्म में क्या किया जाता है? स्टोर किया जाता है. एंड इफ दे वांट टू स्ट्रिप देयर सिक्योरिटीज और रिकॉन्स्टिट्यूट देयर सिक्योरिटीज, दे विल रेज देयर रिक्वेस्ट टू दी primary dealer or bank, and bank will raise their request to RBI through this constituent सब्सिडरी जनरल लेजर। अगर आपके पास एसजीएल है तो डायरेक्टली अपनी रिक्वेस्ट रेज कर दो, एसजीएल नहीं है तो भैया कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंट एसजीएल के जरिए अपनी रिक्वेस्ट को आप रेज कर सकते हैं। लास्ट बट नॉट द लीस्ट इज द नॉमेनक्लेचर। लास्ट बट नॉट द लीस्ट इज योर नॉमेनक्लेचर। और अगर मैं नॉमेनक्लेचर की बात करूं तो नॉमेनक्लेचर क्या कहता है, ISIN, दैट इज अगर हम इंटरनेशनल नॉमेनक्लेचर के हिसाब से बात करें, स्ट्रिप्स जो कि आपका स्टेट गवर्नमेंट सिक्योरिटीज का है, दैट विल बी सिमिलर टू दी स्ट्रिप्स इन दी सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट सिक्योरिटीज, that will be similar to the central government security. International Security Identification Number, ISIN, stands for International Security Identification Number. And nomenclature for strips will be similar to that of central government dated securities. अगर आप ध्यान से देखें तो पहला क्या सर, IN is the country code. IN is the country code. Then we have issuer type or state code. Then we have month and year of maturity of the strip. Year of maturity of strip. Then we have security type. Then we have subsequent strips, series number, और उसके बाद आपका checksum digit. So this is how the nomenclature is done. Obviously, there's no need to memorize anything. कुछ भी याद करने की जरूरत नहीं है, कुछ भी याद करने की जरूरत नहीं है। लेकिन अगर मैं आपको एक को एक्सप्लेन करके दे दूं तो if I explain this with respect to the state government, with respect, I write it like this: MHSGS 20JUN 2035C। इसका मतलब क्या है सर? इसका मतलब है आपने सबसे पहले क्या लिखा, यू हैव रिटन द स्टेट नेम। फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल यू विल राइट व्हाट, नॉमेनक्लेचर इस तरह से होगा। फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल वी विल राइट द स्टेट नेम, आफ्टर स्टेट नेम वी विल राइट security, that is SGS, state government security. Then we will write date, month, and year of maturity. Date, month and year of maturity. So in this particular format, if you see, Maharashtra is the state government security, date of maturity क्या है, 20 जून 2035, और आखिरी में आपने क्या लिख दिया, checksum digit, that is C. क्लियर हो गया पॉइंट, समझ आ गया? दिस इज हाउ द nomenclature of these securities work. So guys, this is all about the securities we have, and I'm pretty sure all the discussion which has been done is crystal clear. If you have any doubt, you may ask please. Otherwise, we will conclude the discussion. और इसके बाद जब आप वीडियो को देखेंगे later on, you can, even if you have any doubt, you can ask your doubts later on as well. I will be taking your doubts in the comment section for sure. Done हो गया जी? Is it clear? No more doubt? If you have any doubt regarding this particular topic, you may ask please. I'm still waiting. If you have any doubt, you may ask please. So what we have discussed about what is stripping. Stripping discuss कर लिया क्या है. Stripping के बाद सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट की सिक्योरिटीज ऑलरेडी स्ट्रिपिंग अलाउड है. स्ट्रिपिंग प्रोसेस पूरा एक्सप्लेन कर दिया. स्ट्रिपिंग के बाद मोटिवेशन क्या है, स्ट्रिपिंग की एलिजिबिलिटी क्या है, प्लेसिंग ऑफ रिक्वेस्ट क्या होगी, नॉमेनक्लेचर क्या होगा, दैट हैज बीन डिस्कस्ड. ओके, थैंक यू सो मच फॉर जॉइनिंग गाइस. श्योर अनिरुद्धा, श्योर. You were worried about my profit. I'll surely take this point on a serious note that I'll provide you the PDF right away after this session. अगर आपने मेरे प्रॉफिट का ध्यान रखा, I'll take care of your profit as well. Thank you so much everyone. Good luck. God bless you all, and I will be catching you all in the upcoming sessions to go. Don't forget to rate the session before leaving, and do share the link of this session with your friends, and do share your feedback in the comment section. And even when you will download the PDF, as always, you will find few MCQs. You will find few MCQs on the basis of the news which we have just covered. I want everyone to share their answers on these MCQs in the comment section. जब तक comment section में 20 responses मिलने शुरू नहीं होंगे, at least 20 responses every day, तब तक I won't be sharing the correct answers. Tab tak I won't be sharing the correct answers. If you are not worried, you don't want to know the correct answers, I also don't run behind you to give you the correct answers. So I need at least 20 responses if you want me that I should share the correct answers with you in the next class. तो आपको PDF मिल जाएगी अगले 20 से 25 मिनट में. You will get the PDF, download the PDF, read the content. After reading the content, you have MCQs based on today's news. Attempt those MCQs and share their answers in the comment section below. And do share your feedback and suggestions for this session in the comment section. Thank you so much for joining. We'll catch you soon. Bye-bye. Take care. Good luck.